Growing up, I'm sure you heard the same thing that I always heard from your parents. Maybe it was, treat others as you yourself want to be treated. And of course, this is a great saying. And in a certain sense, we could say that's even a paraphrase of what Jesus said today. Love your neighbor as yourself. But if that was the paraphrase, it'd be a horrible one, because it does not stack up. Treating someone and loving someone is something completely different. Now, yes, there's some similarities, but in the realm of things, to love your neighbor as yourself is much harder than to treat someone as you want to be treated. And why is that? Well, what type of love is Jesus talking about today in the gospel? As we all know, maybe, because I think I mentioned this a couple of times before, and we always pay attention to homilies. As we all know, there's maybe three types of love that we could reference: the eros type of love, the philia type of love, and the agape type of love. Now, the eros type of love is kind of that sort of feeling towards another person, another gender maybe, right? That eros, that beginning romance, you could say. And of all the three types of loves, that is the least. Then there's the philia type of love. And this one we could say is kind of that brotherly type of love, that affection towards each other, kind of doing well to each other. Brotherly type of love, as we know, Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. But this is not the type of love that Jesus is referencing either. Jesus is saying, love your neighbor, agape type of love, as yourself. Now, what does it mean for agape? Well, an agape type of love is a total self-gift. Give everything to your neighbor. Give yourself to your neighbor. Love them in the same way that Jesus loves us. Of course, we have a perfect example that's right behind my shoulder, don't we? We look at the cross, and that is a total self-gift of love. And here is Jesus today telling us, love your neighbor as yourself. Give of yourself is what he is saying. And it's really, really, really easy to say, and it's really, really, really hard to do, isn't it? To give of ourselves completely in the same way that Christ did for us. You know, this past week I went to a conference. I went to kind of a talk that all the clergy were able to go to, and it was put on by Bishop Cousins. And it was a talk on the counsels of poverty, obedience, and celibacy. This whole counsel, how we're supposed to live these out. But the way he started off the talk was by referencing a document from Vatican II, Gaudium et Spes. And Gaudium et Spes is kind of the church in the modern world and where we're going in the church. Now, this is 1962, by the way, kind of right around then. It was written after that. And it was probably written by St. John Paul II. But Gaudium et Spes, paragraph 24, says this: man, human being, who is the only creature on earth which God willed for itself, cannot fully find himself except through a sincere gift of himself. Let's read that last part again. We cannot find ourselves, who we truly are, unless we give of ourselves. This is why Jesus says, love your neighbor, give of yourself. Because when we do this, then we find ourselves. Then we find who we really are. And as we know who we are created in the image and likeness of God. Not that we look like him. Not that we look like Hercules with a six-pack. It'd be cool if that was the case, right? But that's not what he is saying. Instead, what he is saying, and created in his image and likeness, is that we are called to be like Christ. This total self-gift. It's an amazing thing. And he doesn't say just to do it to your spouse or your friends. God is saying what? Love your neighbor, even the person you don't get along with, as yourself. Give of yourself even when it hurts. Once again, easy to say, hard to do. And I could stand up here all day preaching about this, but that's not going to make a difference. Because we have to be intentional in this. You have to wake up every single morning and ask God to give you the strength to go out in love, to give of yourself freely, To think in your mind, who am I called to give of myself completely to today? Is it that coworker of mine that I just don't get along with? Is it my distant cousin who I know is going through a difficult time? Is it the stranger on the road? There's no restrictions in this. Jesus doesn't say, give of yourself completely except to these people. He says, no, do it to everyone. But in order for us to do this, we have to be intentional about it. Why? Because we are selfish people. So often we're just like that country song. It's all about me, it's all about I, it's all about number one in my own life, right? Remember that one? Well, it's true. Sometimes it's all about ourselves. And so we have to be intentional in saying, how can I go out and love? But the amazing thing is when we do this, when we truly go out and love our neighbor, give of ourselves, who do we find? Once again, as Gadimet Spez says, when we give of ourselves, then we can find ourselves. And the only way we can do this, the only way we essentially can find out how we are as human beings is to give of ourselves. My brothers and sisters, this week, every day, let us go out and love. Go out. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It is. But it's worth it. Because then we're being like Christ. Then we're being who God created us to be. Then we're able to be his sons and daughters whom he loves, even to the point of hurting, even to the point of giving himself to us on the cross.